I used to listen to a pastor named Charles Stanley when I was a young Christian. He is someone who is very well known. He has a huge church in Atlanta that has thousands of members. He puts out a magazine that's called In Touch. It goes all over the world. His sermons are televised in many different countries. Now, he is definitely like a face and a voice that many recognize and have been comforted by for years and years. He told a story once I'll never forget. It didn't really have anything to do with how big his church was or how many people he was reaching or all the places all over the world that his magazine was going. Right? Instead, it was a story about a battery and a microphone. He basically said, most of you know me because you see my face and you hear my voice every Sunday morning. But what you don't know is that there was one obscure individual who makes sure every morning that I have a battery in my microphone. And without him and the way that he serves, you would never hear my voice. That struck me because it really highlighted the important reminder that there are no inferior gifts in the body of Christ and how desperately we need the behind-the-scenes gifts. So let's pick up on that theme in 1 Corinthians 12, 21 through 23. The eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you, and the head cannot say to the feet, I don't need you. On the contrary, those parts of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable, and the parts that we think are less honorable, we treat with special honor. Right? Paul says that those parts of the body that seem weaker are actually, they are indispensable. Right? Those types of gifts are almost like our internal organs. You can't see them, but if they stop working, all of those things that you see on the outside, they would become useless, right? These are the parts of the body that serve so well behind the scenes. And Paul says they are essential to the proper functioning of the body. Right? So no one should feel superior about the gift. Instead, we all use our gifts to serve. And often it's the upfront gifts that are more highly regarded than the behind the scenes gifts. Isn't it interesting, if we went back to the beginning of this letter in 1 Corinthians, we find that this church and the culture, they were enamored and put a premium on wisdom and eloquence of speech and oratory skill. And when we allow the culture around us to kind of define a hierarchy of gifts of sort, we fail to appreciate the beauty of how indispensable the gifts are that are done behind the scenes. Now, perhaps your gifts aren't out in the open for all to see. Perhaps you're more of a behind-the-scenes person. And my encouragement is to reassure that God notices and God values those things. Right? Who can put a value on a compassionate letter written in secret to someone who is suffering? Or an act of service to someone who may not even know that you're serving them? Or a seemingly mundane task that is able to encourage others? And so I'll leave you with this question. What is a behind-the-scenes gift that you have that you can use to encourage someone?